cavalry has arrived.
So, we're trying to create a path smoothing device.
Simply for walking past, not
for hiking through. So here we got the front half of a 7,000-year-old disc and some trolley rail track that we used before, just dragging around. So now we put this at just a tiny bit of an angle, so it digs in that much instead of really digging in. And we're going to see how those welds hold.
Yeah, we had to weld this because it kept on.
Yeah, that pin doesn't hold in place anymore, so these would just
And
come
we
together.
were very wallered out, whatever, in a random giant million-year-old. I'm pretty sure that's a bolt for holding a tractor wheel weight on, actually. Oh wait, no, never mind. I have one of those on the shelf.
We got lots of
which is
hardware.
about twice the thickness of one of these, which is funny.
Lots of hardware.
Now we'll just tighten that a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't want that to come loose. Okay, so we're gonna put the old tow rig into plow rig into business, just to get some smoother paths out here for hiking around. And we've had some pretty good rain the last couple days. It just poured like crazy about 2 hours ago. So we're gonna see what she does. So after about I don't know, maybe an hour of dragging this poor thing around. Shadow's a little bit longer than it was before. Did a pretty good job. One thing we might do is cut those welds and make this a little bit, I stand in the shadows, you can see better, maybe not, a little bit more of a V to dig a little bit, but in the loose, you can see it digs pretty well. And then, of course, we got the big bar behind it. What we should do is have maybe another smaller bar piece around in the middle, so you don't have a high spot and then a high spot, but you can see it smooths out in the middle too when it gets high. So, I don't know. It did a pretty good job. And, I mean, this thing is, I don't know, 100 years old. I kid you not, there is like wooden bushings inside there. Some pieces have been brazed. You can see some fresh brazing in there. When I say fresh, I mean, probably 75 years ago. Maybe not that old. Well, maybe though. So this was just a kind of experimented to see what we could do. And you see you get kind of wads of dirt or grass built up. You will get a rut right there, but we'll go through and do a couple of passes and they smooth out pretty nice. Maybe one final thing would be a drag section behind that or a piece of fence just to smooth out any other bumpiness left over. But this does a good job, takes off any high spots for sure. So that was kind of our experiment right there. Don't know if I'm going to get that bolt off with my bare hands. Have to grab some crescent wrenches. But overall, did a good job. So just left it in low, drove between 5 and 10 miles an hour. Now I'll drive up and down the our county road a little bit and get the tranny temperatures down. They're not up right now, but just to cool it off a little bit. So yeah, sometimes we like to work on old junk, and sometimes we get after it. So a couple of you will probably comment, that's not that old. So over here is, she's green, she's a JD. So this John Deere, my dad bought used before I was born. And so let's say that is at least 49 years ago. So we've got hydraulics, we got actual tires on it. This thing gets her done. This I would not try to pull behind a Chevy Suburban. So just looking at this, it gives you an idea of the age we're talking about. It's not quite square, not old, but if you look right there, that sure looks pretty square to me, and that looks pretty square to me. But I think that's just because they don't want those pieces to spin. We get hicks on the rest of them. So we did find the other section. It's in the woods over that way. We found the other section, the back half of it, but the front half has the hitch, so we can connect it and all that. So overall, it survived pretty good. I think only one weld popped. The rest did what they needed to do. So there we go. Okay. It looks like we got a tree we got to take down. We had one tree die right there, and then this tree here is pretty sick. We'll just take it down the rest of the way. But the rest look pretty good in this row. So, okay, that's what we got. Never forget, Minnesota is oh my.